In this lesson, we are going to cover le congiunzioni disgiuntive, that is, disjunctive conjunctions which are used to present alternatives or choices between options. The simplest and most common one is o, and it means or. Let's see some examples. Prendi il tè o il caffè? Prendi il tè o il caffè? So, do you take tea or coffee? Do you prefer tea or coffee? Una mela, una pera o una banana? An apple, a pear, or a banana. Now, you'll notice that we use o at the end. If there is a long list, we don't have to say una mela o una pera o. We just use commas for the list and then put an o before the last term. You'll notice that in Italian, we don't use the Oxford comma. We don't put a comma just before the o. C'è una Fiat o una BMW? C'è una Fiat o una BMW? Now, two things about this. The implication here is that we are in some kind of car rental context, for example, and they're saying we have a Fiat or a BMW. You'll notice that in Italian, BMW is pronounced BMW instead of BMW. If you say BMW in Italy, no one will know what you're talking about. It's worth noting that here we use the singular to do the accordance with two items. We're still saying c'è. Technically, you can also say ci sono, so there are. However, it's preferable to use the singular form. Oppure means or otherwise, and you can think of it as a stronger or. There's a lot more emphasis on the disjunction between the two words, about the alternative. There's a stronger opposition between the alternatives, essentially. Vieni alla festa oppure resti a casa? Vieni alla festa oppure resti a casa? Are you coming to the party or do you stay home? Here, I could have used o as well, but oppure gives it a little bit more emphasis between the two choices. It's worth noting that some people use piuttosto che instead of oppure. That is wrong. It's common, but it's wrong. So when you see someone saying il gelato piuttosto che la pizza, what they really mean is il gelato oppure la pizza. So don't do it because it's wrong, but you should be aware of it so that if you hear it, you understand what they're saying. The correct use of piuttosto che is rather than. It shouldn't be used as a disjunctive or. When it's used in the beginning of a sentence, it assumes the meaning of here's an alternative theory or here's an alternative option that we could do. Oppure sai cosa potremmo fare? Oppure sai cosa potremmo fare? Which means, otherwise, do you know what we could do? The next conjunction is altrimenti. Altrimenti, which means otherwise or else. Now, this is somewhat of a strong word because it's often used to convey some kind of consequences or warning coming from the alternative choice. Sbrigati, altrimenti perdiamo il treno. Sbrigati, altrimenti perdiamo il treno. Hurry up, otherwise we'll miss the train. So it's quite often used again for warnings or consequences that we don't want. There is the title of a famous Italian movie from the 70s called Altrimenti ci arrabbiamo, which means otherwise we'll get mad. Altrimenti ci arrabbiamo. And it's with Bud Spencer and Terence Hill, who are two classic actors from that time period, extremely famous in Italy, also somewhat famous in other countries in Europe, especially in Germany. Ovvero, and it means or that is to say. In modern Italian, I would argue that the main usage is that is to say, more than anything else. So I'll give you an example. L'ACI, ovvero Automobile Club d'Italia. L'ACI, ovvero Automobile Club d'Italia. So what this is saying is the acronym ACI means Automobile Club d'Italia, which is a non-profit offering roadside assistance in Italy. I hope this lesson was useful to you, and don't be shy. Feel free to leave comments, ask questions, and if you are a subscriber, feel free to also use the chat section for discussion related to this lesson and other Italian topics.